Hey, Tim Sykes here, and this is kind of going to be a little bit different of a video lesson. We'll get to stocks in a second, but first, I have some apologizing to do. I've been losing my temper a little bit too much lately with some of you guys, and I have to apologize. That's not me. I'm just really passionate about teaching. It's not just about the money, it's not just about creating millionaire students. It's that I truly love trying to, educate you guys with patterns and rules that I've learned over the past 18 years of trading. I am not the best trader. I am very far from it, but I do believe that I am the best teacher and the hardest working teacher. I have nearly 4,000 video lessons, but I just want to apologize to you guys. I really don't want to piss some of you guys off and deter you from studying. Not everyone is going to be a millionaire. We get that. But what I have found in nearly a decade now of teaching is that the more that you study, the better that you plan ahead of time before you risk your hard-earned money, the more likely you will have success. So even if you don't make $1 million in trading, let's say you make 100,000 or 50,000 or even 10,000. Remember, half of America has savings of less than $10,000. So be grateful for every single penny that you can make from trading and understand that really 90 to 95% of traders lose. And, I've made a few million from trading, but I am very far from the best. And I want to make that very clear. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in trying to teach because, even though I'm not the best, I am real, that I lose track of what really gets people studying. So I show off my orange Lamborghini a little too much. I post cash a little too much, but it's all for, the right cause. I'm trying to get you guys to study and to build my education business. I'm not ashamed that I make much more from teaching than I do from trading because remember, I'm trading this year with just a $12,000 account. I've grown it, yes, to nearly $46,000, $47,000 now. But the money that I make from trading is specifically designed to show you what you can do with a small account. I'm not trying to compare apples to apples. You and I are very different. We're all different. And you can't really compare yourself to any other trader. But I want to give you an idea of what is possible because too many people just think that making 10-20% per year is the norm, and that's what CNBC viewers are used to. And it's tough for even professional money managers to make 10 to 20% per year on their accounts, and remember, most traders lose. So I'm sorry, that's straight up. This is my fault. I go over the top sometimes, and I have to be brought back down to reality every now and then. I make mistakes. And Stocks to Trade, this new software that my team and I created, tweeted this. This was, out of my Harvard University speech, and it's be grateful for every single dollar you make. Be humble. And I sometimes forget this. I've kind of had a crazy journey and a crazy life, and I'm just, sometimes I lose it. And I don't want to. I don't mean to. I'm not proud of myself when I do. But it's all specifically to really get you guys studying more and planning more, not chasing trades, never following alerts, not following alerts from me or anybody. It's all about you learning how to plan your own trades. And that way, if a trade goes poorly, it's, prepared. You have a plan ahead of time. You're not just sitting there like a deer in headlights and you don't know what to do as your loss grows and grows and grows. So be humble, but be prepared and be determined. I can't stress this enough. Today was an interesting day with trading for me. Where were my trades? I lost some, I made some. OXGN I thought would have a bigger spike. This one was a former supernova recently, but I traded it twice. I made a few hundred, then I lost a few hundred. Overall, I think I'm up a little bit. XGTI, I was shorting this because it's junk. And I'm sorry to those of you who were long. This is another thing I need to work on. XGTI, this is the long-term chart. Let me show you over several years. So it's completely trash. And, I get fed up sometimes that people are just holding this kind of stock and believing in it and just watching the ship go down the whole way, and they're bag holders. So when it spikes like it did yesterday, I have to really remind people that it's most likely not going to continue spiking, even though it has huge volume. So I was shorting this, around 20 cents a share. It got down to 16 cents last night and 16 cents pre-market, or 16 and a half cents pre-market today. I was trying to give it time. I was trying to give it patience, because usually when a stock like this drops, like it did, from 24 cents down to 14 cents in reaction to earnings, it's an earnings loser. And that's the beginning of the end. This one, it's so low priced already. It's already valued at trash. So even though the company is trash, if the stock is valued at trash, then really anything can spike it, especially in this market. If we want to bring up another trash company, the king of the trash companies right now, MGT, up from 38 cents to over $5, and now it's hanging around at $3. This is trash too. But you cannot go into the market thinking, oh, the stock is up from 30 cents here and now it's $2. So it's up roughly 7 times at this point. Let me just bet against it because it's probably going to go down. And that opens yourself up to getting squeezed on a big short like this. So you have to be very careful with these blanket statements about which companies are trash. Every single penny stock is trash. That doesn't mean that it can't spike more than you expect. And, that's my fault for not explaining this more. And it's tough. Sometimes I make a quick video, or I have a quick commentary, or I have a tweet for, 130, 140 characters. I should do more of these kinds of videos explaining everything so that there's not as much confusion or misunderstanding. And I fully believe MGT will go back down to under $1 a share. I don't believe a word John McAfee says. There are penny stock promoters involved. But at the same time, I've shorted it a few times. I actually had to cut losses on my last short. I lost like 15 cents a share yesterday because it just wasn't dropping that much. Today we're actually getting a nice drop, and maybe this is the beginning of the end. But be very scared to short everything. I stand by my teaching style of trading scared. I know that pisses some people off, but trading scared is what saved me and protected me in an industry where, frankly, a lot of people just blow up because they trade overly aggressive and they trade with conviction. And for me, whether I'm going long or going short, trading scared is very helpful. I've really cut down on my big losses in the past few years, and I want to show you specifically how to do that too, because big losses are what kill you. Small losses very rarely will ever, will blow you up, because your losses, even if they're like $50 or 100 or 200, depending on your account size, if you have the mentality of cutting losses quickly and being like a sniper, aim small, miss small, it's very tough to do huge damage. And that said, thinking in trading like a sniper, I lost a little bit on OXGN. I got a little too aggressive, but my first buy this morning on OXGN in the 80s was pretty good before OXGN, double topped at roughly $1 a share. This stock is trash too. But at the same time, when it has the ability, pre-market is going from 60 cents up to $1, and then it, tests this $1 level once, twice, 3 times. And, I was buying it somewhere in here in the 80s, 86, 87 range. And the first time I actually, gave it some time, and I sold it very well near the top because I don't like topping. But then when the market opened and you have huge volume and it still can't break $1 a share, you got to get out. You got to play it safe, because as much as you want a stock to spike, and as much as this stock has spiked in the past, you have to be very, very aware that, many of these spikes will not hold up. Look at this spike. Okay, it spiked from $2 to $5, and then it went straight down. If you go back even further, I remember this one. Yeah, right here. Well, it's done a lot of reverse splits, but I remember it back, in 2009. You can't even really see the spikes. But long story short, this stock has spiked in the past a lot. Okay, here's the big spike in 2011. So this is a former supernova, but look at what it's done since. This is the sad reality for most penny stocks. So as much as you want them to come back, you have to really be aware of potential topping. And I was right to buy it in the 80s the first time, and then I got a little too aggressive thinking that this breakout was going to happen, and it just couldn't. It ran into a solid wall. So I have some gains and some losses. AMD was my earnings winner hold overnight, and I made a few hundred. And basically, I just got rid of this one just because it's not as volatile, and I have too many positions. I'm really not good at taking too many positions at one time. And when I had this, I had 3 positions, and I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Props to you students and even non-students who have 5 or 10 positions at a time and you manage them. I don't know how to do that. So I'm not going to teach that way. I'm not going to trade that way. I really like 1 or 2 positions at one time because I can look at every tick and I can cut losses quick if it's going the wrong way. And sometimes, I can take some decent profits. AMD, I sold it at 414, which pre-market, which actually turned out to be the high pre-market, and then I had a dip for the first 2 hours, but now it's back up as earnings winners tend to do. So this is a nice delayed earnings winner. The big earnings win was literally a month ago, and only now after a month are we getting the breakout over $4 a share. So congrats to longs there. The earnings winner pattern is alive and well. It just isn't always as fast as you want. So I've been tracking a lot of earnings winners, like TISA I was buying. And this one had a big spike, and I thought that it was going to be a multi-day runner. Actually, today it's coming back a little bit. I have a long-term position in the 170s, so I'm up a little bit on that. But some earnings winners just don't hold their gains. This is not an exact science. And I don't want you to think that I'm ever going to be like, oh, this is a 100% gimme. It's impossible for me to be wrong. I can be wrong, and you can be wrong on any position. So that's why I'm always trading scared. This is why I never want you going all in or getting too aggressive or too cocky. All it takes is one bad trade to really wipe you out. And no one trade will ever really make you. There isn't a stock that I can remember in literally the past 20 years that has created overnight millionaires. Obviously, if you're invested in a company and you're right about it, or if you're in a private company and gets taken over, but if you're stock trading, no one trade will ever truly make you rich. But all it will take is one trade that could blow you up or, wipe out a lot of your confidence or wipe out a lot of your accounts. So you have to beware of this kind of inefficiency and inequality where there's a lot more downside than there is upside in this game if you don't properly take precautions. If you don't properly plan your trades, if you don't properly have the right expectations. I know I talk a lot about my millionaire students. You have to be aware that most people are not going to be millionaires. But the reason why I bring it up and what some people don't understand is that it's good to dream big. It's good to have a big goal. I don't want any of your goals to be like, okay, I'm going to try and just make $100 this week. That might be reality. You might end up with just making $100, but I want you thinking about a process that theoretically could make you into a millionaire, because it's the process that will build your wealth. It's the process that will make you rich over time. If you look at studies from professors like Latham and Locke on performance theory and goal setting, if you have a giant goal that seems so unattainable, that giant goal will push you forward and will actually increase your overall performance and your motivation, but your performance by 15 to 25%. And they've done countless studies on this. So when people say, oh, it's irresponsible to talk about millionaires and creating millionaires, well, first of all, I have created a millionaire, so I'm going to take a little pride in that. I am proud that my millionaire students now also give webinars to other Trading Challenge students, but at the same time, it's good to think about what you can potentially do. That will drive you every single day to watch videos, to prepare, to really research companies rather than ever just following anyone's picks or alerts without proper research. Do not follow other people. That is a giant mistake. I want you to learn how to make your own plans. Part of the reason why I give my alerts, and they're not like, in other chat rooms and other newsletters where it's just like the ticker and the price, because I don't want it to be like instantaneous where you're tempted to follow. I want to write out my whole explanation, and that takes me, sometimes 30 seconds or a minute, because it's the explanation, it's the mindset, it's the plan that matters more than the actual trade. I want you to see how I plan every single trade. I planned TISA pretty well. I had a good profit the first time, and the second time, when it couldn't hold up here, I actually had to get out. It's okay. I went in with a plan. too many people will see this stock and they'll be like, oh, earnings winner, I'm just going to hold blindly. No, even though you want to give earnings winners time, I clearly said when I was buying this, what did I buy it at first? In like the two area, right? What was my execution? I think like 205, 208, right? And it went up to 240, and I was like, beware, there's massive resistance here just a few months ago at 250, 260, and it couldn't even get there, let alone, double top. So when you have a problem like this, 2 days in a row that it cannot break 250, let alone 260, that is a massive, massive problem that you have to recognize. No matter that's an earnings winner, no matter that you want it to do well, the price action has shown you that it's not going to do well. Just no different than OXGN this morning. It's a nice breakout above this 85-cent, 88-cent range, and that's why I was buying it, frankly. I was buying it at 86 and 87 because it was a multi-month breakout. But when it double tops or triple tops at $1, you have to realize, wait a minute, even at 80 cents, the thing is still up 45% on the day. So at the market open, yes, you have a greater possibility of it, really going supernova and really, breaking out like it did pre-market. But you have to be very aware when the price action shows you signs of topping. So I want to make that very crystal clear today. So even though I had a nice profit on AMD, and a little profit on OXGN and a little profit shorting XGTI. I actually probably should have, profited more, but I wanted to give this one time. I'm trying to be a little more patient. And a small loss on OXGN. I mean, this is trading. If you look at, my trades today, this is a good example. It's not my best day of trading at all. I'm making a few $100s, but really reacting to price action. My loss on OXGN could have been far worse if I just held it and I hoped for a comeback. XGTI actually did spike near the market open. So, even though I covered at the 18-cent a share range, I actually got a pretty good cover because it squeezed, and this stock is scary. Even now at 19 cents, I had probably one of the best covers that you could have, even though I probably should have covered, better pre-market. So lesson learned, you're not going to be perfect. Sometimes you're going to make a few hundred. Sometimes you're going to lose a few hundred. I got to give props to some of my students. Lloyd, I didn't even retweet this yet. I'm sorry, Lloyd. I'm behind on everything. But, he was in on GBSN and logging in the profits. That's a good job. I should mention this tweet. Too many people want instant success. It doesn't work that way. You need to learn, adapt, and pay your dues. Even Tim Grittani lost at first. And this is so important. I know you want to make a lot of money, but the money and the meaningful money comes after years of study. You might get lucky on a trade here or there early on in your career, but if you don't have a process to back up that luck, if you don't have a strategy to back it up, it's not going to mean much for you in the long run. So Tim Grittani, if you look at his trades, you can see all of them. He lost rather consistently in the beginning, but he was always tinkering, always creating spreadsheets and seeing what patterns work the best and what he was best at. There might be a pattern that works really well, but you're not good at it. Tim Grittani's main pattern is shorting these morning spikes, shorting failed morning spikes like this. Maybe he was shorting XGTI today. I don't know. But that works for him. For me, I absolutely suck at shorting morning spikes. I can never judge the exact top. I get scared too easily. So for me, I actually, like shorting stocks when it's about to fall off a cliff, like MGT, like this kind of fading action, where you have panic that's opening up. So you have to find a pattern that works for you and what you're good at. And it might be what I'm good at. It might be what Tim Grittani is good at. It might be something totally different. Trading is all about adapting to the patterns and adapting to the opportunities and taking advantage in a way that suits you. No one is ever like one specific time when you should trade or what your position size should be. Trading should be comfortable for you. You should never be uncomfortable. You should never be like, oh, I'm trading this pattern that I don't understand because I know this other trader trades it. No, do not always follow, actually never follow, but do not always think that you have to be somebody else. We share our strategies openly to try and give you an idea of how we constructed our own strategy so that you can learn to construct your own. I know it's complicated. I wish it were simpler. but this is the way that I found, creates the most successful students. And that's what this is all about. Remember, going back in the beginning of this, exposing the millionaire lifestyle. You guys do pay for my lifestyle because I trade with such a small account. So I want to be very crystal clear with that. It is in my best interest to be the best teacher possible, to have the most successful students. It does me no good if I make money on a trade and all of my students lose, or if all my students don't understand it. So for me, I love it when students do better than me on a trade, or they're taking their own trades. That's the beauty of all of my top students. They're all self-sufficient. I'm just training wheels by showing you my plan. And I like my lifestyle and I like teaching, and I want to show you exactly what that I've learned over the past 18 years of trading so that you can develop your own style. And I know this is complicated, so I have to repeat it again and again in many different forms to make it clear. But this is the path to actually becoming rich and self-confident and knowledgeable, being self-sufficient. I can show you what's worked for me. It's not necessarily going to work for you. Let me also give props to this guy, Steven. I love this. This is a great trade. SPEX actually turned out to be the best spiker of the morning, from the 2s to the 4s, literally all in like an hour. By 10 a.m. it was done. And the run-up really started, right around 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. from the 2s to the 4s. Pre-market is kind of scary, but, at the market open, when it's taking out the day high here, in the first minute in the 350s, if you're quick, you can profit. But beware, some of these spikes happen very quickly. I did not trade specs. I did not alert it, but the cool thing is that, students like Steven are learning on their own. And Steven bought it, very quickly at 9:30 a.m. at 4:04, and he's selling it literally a minute later, and he's making $600. This is a screenshot from his E-Trade account. This sometimes happens. So I know that some of you want to hold longer, but sometimes, this is like the best kind of way to make money. And, he sold it pretty well into this choppiness. It got to like the 450s, but if you can make nearly 10% in a minute on a fast-moving stock, you take it. And as you can see, specs is now down $1 a share. So if you're shorting morning spikes, this is another Tim Grittani pattern that worked well today. So props to Steven. Here's props to Oliver. He was in at 383, out at 405, and he sold way too early, but he took the meat of the move. And that's fantastic. And I have a lot of other students, but this video lesson is running really long. I'm sorry for the ranting, but I want to be very clear about why I teach, what I teach, and what makes successful students. My whole business is geared towards creating a better educational experience. Trading with a small account this year, a lot of you guys have said, yes, I like it. So leave a comment if you like it, and I'll continue trading with a small account. I could easily go into hypothetical trading. If you're like, oh, Tim, you're just trading against your subscribers. I don't have to trade at all, okay? I understand that you learn better when there's actual money involved, but, what have I made? Roughly $30,000 in profits now on my small account this year. I've spent 40 or 50,000 in text message fees. So just delivering the alerts cost me more than the actual profits. I don't care. It's all about, specifically trying to show you how a trader can plan a trade and sometimes take wins, sometimes take losses. But whether I lose 10,000 or make 10,000 after text message fees, and seriously, text messages add up, but it's worth it because it's all about the education for you guys. I'm at the point in my career where I have enough money, I've made enough from trading, and it's my privilege and it's my honor to trade so small. But I could do hypothetical trading. If you want me to say, look, hypothetically, I'm buying, 50,000 shares, and you can see how I'll grow a hypothetical, $1 million account into a hypothetical $10 million account. I'll still be sending the exact same alerts. They'll still be the same exact patterns. It doesn't matter to me. The point is that I'm trying to show you how to plan and showing you what patterns to try and take advantage of. So leave a comment. You let me know. Do you want me to hypothetical trade? Do you want me to trade with a small account, continue trading with a small account? Or do you want me to trade, with a big account? I don't care. As long as you understand that I'm not perfect, I'm going to have losses. I'm not trying to, go in and out of a stock so quickly, but sometimes, like on OXGN, when, I got to bring this up because it's such a perfect triple top. When I'm in near the market open and it fails yet again, I'm going to protect myself because that's what successful trading is about. Sometimes a trade, I want to hold it for days, or sometimes I want to hold it for at least an hour or two. But if the price action goes against me, I exit and play it safe. This is so, so, so important for all of you as upcoming traders. Safety first. Protect yourself if you're wrong. Don't worry about commissions. Don't worry about what other people are going to say. Focus on the price action and react to it. If for some reason this had broken $1 a share today and kept going, I would have loved giving it more time and selling in the 120s or 130s or 140s. Sometimes these morning spikes can really spike, as you saw on SPEX, but sometimes they fail. And, this is a perfect double top on SPEX. So learn to recognize double tops and triple tops, no matter how badly you want a stock to keep going. And sometimes, it'll double top and then it'll come back and it'll be a delayed morning spiker. And you'll be like, God, why did I get out of that double top? I don't worry if the stock keeps going after I'm gone. I'm always focused on cutting losses or protecting myself if the stock doesn't do what I want at first. I don't feel guilt. I don't have FOMO, fear of missing out, okay? Because I've seen too many traders blow up over the years. I know that we're trading the craziest stocks in the entire stock market. And, whether the stock is up 74% or up, 100% or 150%, it's all up a crazy amount. It's not an exact science. So I want you to have the right mindset and react to price action. You can go in with any thesis you want, okay? And lately we've been having, quite a few stocks. PRGN, if you remember, went supernova from 40 cents to $4. SYNC went supernova from the 1s to the 4s. This one actually is finally bouncing today. GLBS, went supernova. I was buying this in the 40s and selling it in like the 60 cent a share range, and then it goes to $1.60 the next day. ULTR went supernova. I was buying this in the 20s and selling it in the 30s and 40s, and then it goes to 80 cents. So a lot of the time, I'm going to underestimate stocks, okay? The way that I trade is trying to take the meat of the move, trying to stick to my plan. And sometimes my plan can be way off, but that's okay. As long as you have a plan and you keep adapting, The GLBS trade was so successful, that's what led me to being more aggressive on ULTR the next day. So learn from recent trades, learn from recent patterns, and adapt to that. Now these stocks can't spike for shit. So they're kind of dead to me. But when they're all going supernova and they're all sympathy plays, that's when you can get a little more aggressive. The market kind of opens up these opportunities and you have to be ready to take advantage of them. I'm going to close with a great tweet from one of my students. Where is he? Here he is, Alex. He made 5,500 in CLRB, and he verified it. And he went long the short squeeze. This was yesterday. In the 3s, and he sold in the 4s. And he sold too soon, but at the same time, he was risking 10 cents a share, and he sold early, but he made 5,500 in 5 minutes. Now he bet big. He bet $36,000. So not all of you guys have that kind of account, but I love this trade because he specifically had a plan. He was buying CLRB for the morning spike, which was yesterday, and it was because, it went from, it was downtrending all morning, or, let me actually show you. It was down off of its highs from the mid 3s, but it was down, but it was threatening to go green. So red to green, R to G, you'll see this in the chat room. That is a very good catalyst sometimes to buy. Well, today it didn't do it. Let me show you yesterday. So he bought, yesterday at 364, and he sold it at 420. Miley, it's okay. My dog is here too. She's getting excited. But he had the perfect plan on CLRB here, and he made 5,500. But his commentary, I think, is even better. Where was it? Oh, I have too many tabs open. Miley, stop. I'm doing a video. My dog is here. I can't help it. But look at this. He said, thanks, biggest win to date. Past 3 days, I've made more than in the last 5 months. All that studying finally paying off. And he's saying, insane. You are 100% right when you say big plays don't come too often. It all comes down to how much work you put in, so that when you do arrive, you're able to execute and bank on them. And I cannot, reinforce what Alex is saying enough. He has been on fire. A little while ago, he also had another good trade. I like his little profile picture of all his friends like shotgunning some beers and stuff. But this was the other day on PRGN and MGT. He made 3,200 and he made 9,000 in 2 days. So between PRGN, MGT, and CLRB, he has nailed all three of the biggest supernovas. But he was prepared, and he absolutely nailed the right mentality. Where is these tweets? Oh, these were his recent tweets to me. Tweets and replies. Twitter's getting complicated. Where is it? Right in here. So, and he has some small losses. He has some losses, but the key is that he is prepared. And I love these comments. And look, it doesn't even get that many likes or tweets or whatever, because it involves studying and it involves hard work that pays off after several months. He's been studying for 5 months, but on 3 trades, MGT, CLRB, and PRGN, he was prepared, and all that studying is finally paying off. And some of you, you're going to have to study for 10 months or, maybe 5 weeks. It's different for everybody, but the key is learning the patterns, recognizing what you're good at, and trying to capitalize. And, he did all of this. CLRB, I was looking at as a potential short yesterday. I couldn't even find shares to short. But he saw the red to green move possibly happening, and he absolutely nailed this. And he's buying it at 360, literally selling it a few minutes later at 420. And, it goes up even more, but it's scary. And to make $5,000 in 5 minutes, that is an amazing feeling. I know it. It brings me back to when I was first trading, and maybe going big sometimes too, but that is what it takes. So congrats to Alex, and congrats to so many of you guys who are really getting it and realizing that studying and learning pays off over time. I know that it's tough to listen to all this stuff and to go through it, and it can be overwhelming, but at the same time, trust me, it will pay off. Whether you have a small account or a big account, it is impossible not to get more knowledgeable and not to get better over time, as long as you stay in the game. A lot of people lose in the beginning and they get discouraged, so they don't study, they don't keep up with their studies, and they wonder why, they don't make it. So if you lose, if you don't do really well in the beginning, it's okay. Very few people actually do, but you got to stick with it. And within a few months, within a year, you'll know whether you have, the chops of what it takes. And a lot of the best patterns and a lot of the best lessons are counterintuitive. So if you think you're just going to be good at trading from the get-go and you're just going to go with your gut, you're wrong. You have to learn different kinds of patterns and different kinds of discipline, especially with cutting losses. When Alex is making that $5,000, where was it? Right here. He specifically was risking 10 cents a share. So with 10,000 shares, he was risking losing $1,000. But, he made 5,000. So it was a very solid 5-to-1 risk reward. As it turned out, he could have made like 10,000. But when you make that much money, you don't worry about the money that you leave over. Okay? Don't worry about money left on the table. I know you want to always try and capture the most, but try and take the meat of the move. And again, this is turning into an incredibly long video lesson, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry to those of you who I offend. I'm sorry for losing my temper every now and then. I'm sorry for not being the best trader. I'm sorry for, so much. But at the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is to get you to study and to show you example after example of whether it's me or students who are, using different patterns, and trying to take the meat of the move. And when we're wrong, we cut losses. There's no great secret to becoming a millionaire. It's just the process. and repeating it over and over again. This $5,000 profit, Alex, I hope you remember it and you repeat it. Sometimes you're going to take smaller positions, sometimes you're going to take bigger positions, but this is the way that you can build your account gradually. So props to Alex and props to so many of you. I love teaching. I hope you guys stick with it. I'm sorry again for my attitude issues. I'm just, overworked and, I've been very fortunate. So I got to apologize and try and remind myself of, I'm just a small town kid from Orange, Connecticut. So every single dollar that I made, I'm grateful. Every single student that I have, I'm grateful. And, I look forward to teaching you guys more. Thank you.